ready to begin? As you know, the Fawn Fire started this past Wednesday, September 22nd. It continues to burn even today. Thankfully, CAL FIRE acted quickly and the responsible person is already in custody. Alexandria Subernea was reported in the area by several civilians that she was acting strangely and was in the area of the origin of where the fire began. After the fire started, she was contacted by CAL FIRE coming out of the brush where the fire had started with an operable lighter in her pocket. She was then arrested. CAL FIRE has conducted a preliminary investigation and already made the determination that the fire was in fact arson. We received the report yesterday, and today we announced that we have filed felony arson charges against her, not only for arson, but also for committing an arson during the state of emergency. The maximum penalty that she currently faces is 9 years in state prison. However, the fire is obviously still burning, and the investigation is still underway, and based on the final damages and outcome of that investigation, additional charges are likely. We are aware that there are possible additional fires here in our county that she may be linked to, as well as other charges and other fires statewide. That is still an ongoing investigation. With drought and weather conditions making our fire season here in California even longer and more intense, it is extremely important for everyone to be constantly cautious and alert. My office will not hesitate to prosecute any person who either intentionally or recklessly starts a fire. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Battalion Chief J.T. Zolliger from CAL FIRE to give you an update on Fawn Fire.
Good morning, my name is J.T. Zolliger. I'm a Battalion Chief in charge of law enforcement and fire prevention here in the Shasta County Unit. Just want to give you a quick update on the Fawn Fire. Currently, we're looking at 9,850 acres with 10% containment. We know that structures have been destroyed, and we have damage inspection teams out in the area surveying the damage, and that will be ongoing for the next few days while firefighters are out on the fire working to contain it and mop it up. In regards to the Miss Suberneva that was arrested, just wanted to take a little bit of time and talk about that. In the afternoon hours of September 22nd, she was observed on property in the area of the fire and was observed by a couple of employees of a local business there. She was asked to leave and later fled and left off into the hills above that location. In the afternoon hours, we then were dispatched to a vegetation fire on that same property, and she was determined to have been in the area when firefighters were working to contain the fire on the ridge line above. Ms. Suberneva was then interviewed by CAL FIRE law enforcement officers at the scene, was medically evaluated, and she provided a statement, and she was subsequently arrested on arson charges. Just want to reiterate the fire conditions we have currently. We're still have a long way to go till the rains come. We are still in critical fire danger, and without the rains coming, we ask the public to be extremely careful and cautious, having to do with any kind of outside activity that may spark a fire. I just want to talk a little bit about our statistics to date. So far in the Shasta County Unit of CAL FIRE alone, we've made 14 arson arrests. And Statewide, CAL FIRE has arrested 103 persons for arson. So CAL FIRE has zero tolerance for any kind of arson or any kind of illegal fire activity. And we just ask the public to report any suspicious activity having to do with fire activity if they see it.
Okay, that is all the information that we have at this time. Because this is an ongoing case and investigation, we can't answer a lot of questions, but if there are a couple basic questions, we'd be happy to answer those.
Well, certainly, it's part of the investigation, I guess, but you said she was found with a lighter. Can you talk about, did she admit to doing it, and how did she do it?
I can't get into any further facts that we have already revealed at this time.
Can you identify the other fires she suspected of starting?
Not at this time, because it is a very preliminary ongoing investigation. If it becomes something that we need to release to get citizens assistance on, we will at that time.
The question I keep seeing is there a suspected motive of any kind, or is it too early to say?
Still too early for that.
Did she have other law enforcement contact here or in other counties in prior days?
Yes, she has, and we're moving into arson as well. Any further questions?
You can't specify on those.
Our county and other counties as well.
Was she found to be under the influence at the time of her arrest?
Not that I'm aware of. Anything further?
Did she have a criminal history?
That wouldn't be something I can comment on at this time. Like I said, it is very early stages of this investigation. Yes, we have filed a criminal case, but we need to be cautious as to what we do with this at this time.
This might be a question for CAL FIRE, but my understanding from talking to fire investigators, it can often be very difficult to track down the origin of a fire if you don't have someone right there on the scene, because the evidence burns up. So, I guess, could you speak to sort of the unusual nature of being able to find a suspect right there on the scene, and how helpful it is to be, sort of quick to be able to make an arrest?
Sure. So anytime we have a systematic methodology we use to process a fire scene, we look at fire patterns, different things. When the fire burns, it leaves evidence behind, and we're able to read those indicators, and it takes us back to a general origin area. And once we get to that origin area, we then look at any potential ignition sources within that area. And in this particular case, we believe that the suspect was there.
Generally speaking, when somebody starts a fire intentionally without financial motive, is that a habitual thing that they have likely done before? Something that they're
I think each person is unique to themselves. However, there does seem to be a pattern where we have a very small, it seems that we have a very small portion of the citizenry, if you will, that does set fires. And it seems to be narrowed down to that person that's comfortable with that type of behavior. Does that make sense?
like a compulsion.
Yes.
Okay. And there's no proof of anything of her being mentally stable or anything mentally
Not
ill?
at this time, no.
Oh, okay.
Okay, now we will go ahead and end the press conference at this time. Thank you all.